I had an epileptic fit this morning whilst I was scrolling through LinkedIn. Somebody decided to use the most energetic GIF that said, "New job," as aggressively as possible. I had to scroll past it just so it stopped offending my eyes. But a great way to start the day was epilepsy. So great. Thanks for that. And the risk of offending people who have epilepsy, that's not going to offend anybody.
No.
Right, fine.
I think we're good.
Welcome to Viral Recruiters, where we help recruiters, directors, owners, and marketers with their marketing. Everything that we talk about should bring in more candidates, more clients, more consultants, and everything that a recruitment agency needs. I'm Rich Gibbard, founder of RecBound. Hope you enjoy the show. This episode's all about posting jobs on LinkedIn. It is something that some recruiters frown upon, funnily enough, but it's all going to be about posting your jobs on your social feed on LinkedIn. Something that I do think recruiters should do. Maybe not as much as they do, but they definitely should do it.
Yeah. So, bare basics. What needs to go in a job ad?
Job ad, right. So as you're scrolling through, you got to play around with the image size. So the square image is probably the best way forward, really. Like time and time again, square image is the best way forward. For those who are onto Canva or you want to do it themselves, it's 1080 by 1080. 1080 by 1080 is the way forward. Any bigger than that, it's pointless. Any smaller than that, you run the risk of it going blurry. But stick to 1080 by 1080 because you can also use that for Instagram and you also use that for all the other platforms as well.
Yeah.
What it needs is three things. Maybe a fourth if you're lucky. Number one, needs job title.
Yeah.
Instant Hook is the job title. So if you're a digital marketer, if you're scrolling through LinkedIn and you saw digital marketer, it got better chance of attracting your attention than anything else because it's the most relatable thing that you do in your job. Number two is salary and the benefits package that goes with it. It doesn't need to list every single benefit. It just needs the main headline numbers. So that would be basic salary, any bonus, or if there's IPO equity options or stock share or whatever, the main headline numbers. Again, it doesn't need every single perk and every single benefit. You need a job title, the salary and the package. And number three, you need a reason to join.
Right. What could that be?
If you use the phrase, we're working with a market leading ... there's probably the wrong thing to say.
Right.
There's got to be something that's relatively unique about that particular position. And what I mean by that is give me a reason about how, if I took it on this job, how am I going to be better in a year's time? Talk to me about the technology. Is it a tech that nobody else is using? Is the growth rate it's so huge that I have to join or else I'm missing the boat?
Right.
It can't be something that's so bland and mundane. Every company in the whole entire world has something unique about them. And every position has to have some element of unique. And if you've not got something unique, as a recruiter, I'd suggest that you go and get more information.
Find something.
Yeah, exactly. Find something, take a better job spec, basically. Take a better vacancy brief about why that role is awesome. But they're the three things that you need. Number one, job title. Number two, salary and package. And number three, an awesome reason to join, or at least add some intrigue.
What about for these companies that don't want to share the salary?
Then the reason why to join is even more important.
Okay.
It's even more important to get a reason to join. Sometimes they don't want to share salary, probably because they're hiding something, maybe because they're hiding something, most definitely because they're hiding something. But yeah, absolutely, that's more important why you should get a reason to join. And before I propose to carry on, if the job is quite location specific, you probably should mention that on there as well. There are outliers, like if it needs to be a French speaking or needs a certain language, for example, or it has to be something, then add that. But you can add that to the text part of the blurb as opposed to the actual image itself.
So what would you say needs to go in the caption of the post? Because obviously, visually, it needs to have all those three parts of it. But what needs to go in the caption?
Again, reasons to join, what they get when they join the role, what they perhaps expand on what they get when they join on that, when they go and be part of that business. I think the reality is that people are very, very interested in knowing what they're going to get out of it. In today's market, candidates are incredibly savvy. They're so savvy. And so they're getting inundated, and they've been inundated for years with opportunities. So you need to find a reason what's going to enhance their career if they were going to move on. And that's what you talk about in your text part. You also need a call to action, as in get in contact with me. You will never get lots of likes.
No?
Never. Unless you get really lucky and somebody in India or Bangladesh, Pakistan, that like subcontinent type area shares it and things like that.
Yeah.
They tend to engage very well. But the reality is you don't want a load of likes on job posts. You want messages coming to you. So that's what you should put on there in terms of blur part, is put your email address on there so that people have got easy access to email you. Even like they can drop you a LinkedIn direct message, but sometimes some companies monitor their staff's LinkedIn messages, really. Wow. So just make it really, really easy for somebody to contact you.
So how would you monitor success of a job ad? Would it just be through people contacting you? Or if we don't want likes as such, is it through messages?
Yeah, ultimately. That's if you picture a funnel, okay? Picture a funnel. The top of the funnel is all attention-grabbing posts. There's what you do with your polls, your humor, your conversation pieces, podcasts, whatever it may be. The bottom of the funnel is quite simply job posts. You do not know. The only way a recruiter can tell if they're getting any ROI is if a candidate's coming to them and saying, Dan, I'm interested. Tell me more about this position.
Yeah.
And you hope that candidate is good. If you're getting a load of response to you that's totally irrelevant, then we need to work on that. But the only way you can tell if a job is posted, job's working, is by getting good applications to you, good people that are coming to you that wouldn't normally come to you.
Okay. So what would we avoid when writing a job post? Kind
of like what I was talking about at the beginning. You like really loud, offensive GIFs. When I say offensive, not offensive as in, you're trying to purposely be offensive, but as in I mean like colours and things like that.
Garish,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it looks like you're from like the inside of a 1970s car, then that's probably not the way forward. Yeah. It needs to be, it does have to be visually appealing because it needs to look easy on the eye. People, did you know that you get less than 2 seconds to grab attention?
Right.
Less than 2 seconds. To be honest with you, I scroll so quick, it's probably less than one. Where humans are bordering on having less attention span than a goldfish.
Oh, really?
So that's what I'd suggest, is that your images have to be easy to read as people quickly scroll through. And what to avoid, like you asked, avoid stuff that's very difficult to read. Avoid so much text, lines and lines and lines of text. Use the blur bit of the text as opposed to the image. Use the blur bit of the text to talk about that.
Yeah.
But the image should just be very simple, visually appealing.
I think the key takeaway is you're trying to sell. So do it in as little words as possible and get the message across as quickly as possible. Because like you say, you only have 2 seconds.
Yeah, you can. There are other ways you can do it. So it doesn't always have to be a still image. You can use a little animation. I know Canva does, if you've got the paid for version, it does do sort of nice animated bits. You can use a slider as well. So if there is quite a few bits that you wanted to say, you can spread it out over multiple images. But that's just differentiating the same message of how can we make this job look as sexy as possible, and please get in contact with me and find out more.
Yeah.
As ever, if you are looking for help with your social media, you are looking for somebody to do the donkey work for you, or you just need some help and assistance with posting jobs, or whether it's just an overhaul of your personal brand, get in contact with us. I'll be very, very keen to help. So drop us a message and we'll find out more. And at the same time, if you found this episode useful, do like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your gran, and we'll be very keen for more listeners. So thanks very much.